Hello guys. We will be talking about pod manifest files. So for the example in this chapter or in the series of lectures we are going through, we are going to use the following pod manifest called pod.yml. As you can see on the screen. Now, although this file is in YAML format, you can also use JSON. Straight away we can use 4 top level resources that we are going to need to understand. One is API version, .kind, .metadata and .spec. In this lecture we will only be stepping lightly through the section and fields in the manifest file. This is so that you don't get overwhelmed. In the next lecture or so, we would be covering replica sets and we are going to give a more comprehensive dive into manifest files. As the name suggests, the .api version field specifies the version of the API that we will be using. .vi has been around since 2015. It includes an extensive pod schema and it's stable. If you are working with some of the newer constructs such as replica sets and deployments, you will have to specify a newer version of the API. Next up, the .kind field tells Kubernetes what kind of object to deploy. In this example, we are telling it to deploy a pod. As we progress through the book, we will populate this with various different values, services, deployments, daemon sets, etc. Then we define some .metadata. In this example, we are naming the pod hello pod and giving it a couple of labels. Labels are simple key value pairs, but they are insanely powerful. We will talk more about labels later as we build our Kubernetes knowledge step by step. Last but not the least, we have got the .spec section. This is where we define what is in the pod. In this example, we are defining a single container pod, calling it hello CTR. Basing it and latest image, and we are telling it to expose port 8080. If this was a multi-container pod, we would define additional containers in the .spec section. Now coming on to manifest files, empathy as code. Quick side step. Configuration files such as Kubernetes, manifest files and Docker files are excellent source of application documentation. As such, they have some secondary benefit. Two of these includes: 1. Helping speed up the onboarding process for new team member. 2. Helping bridge the gap between developers and operations. So, if you need a new team member to understand the basic function and requirement of an application, get them to read the application manifest and Docker file. If you have a problem with developers not clearly stating their application's requirement to operation, get them to use Kubernetes and Docker, as they describe their application through Docker files and Kubernetes manifest. These can then be used by operations staff to understand how the application works and what it requires of the environment. These kind of benefits were described by a couple of authors in different books, various books in the market. While describing config files like these as this might be a bit of stretch, there is merit in the concept which will of course help. We will discuss about these items at a granular level soon. Thank you.